Well, welcome back, everybody. We're now into our next hour, and it's marketing hour, and my favorite subject, of course. And of course, Microbiz Matters Day is all about gaining, keeping customers, improving cash flow, and developing your business through confidence, creativity, and all those kind of things. And I actually think marketing is all of that. I think that you've got to get your marketing right in order to do that. And I think that micro business owners, as we heard in the food and drink hour, have got a tremendous advantage because they can put their personality into their marketing, which corporates can't do. And of course, that's where it links into things like public relations. There's a very famous speaker called Jeff Ram, who actually says his first client, marketing client, actually said, "What can you do for me, Jeff, for a tenner?" And what he actually did was he actually took on a fantastic hello. We'll see you. We'll be with you. We'll be with you in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, lovely, great. So he actually took some photographs, got some massive press coverage, all for £10. And that links into our next guest, which is Gemma Guise of JournoLink. And guys of JournoLink, and Gemma has, I think, come up with quite a unique concept. But the important thing for us on Microbiz Matters Day is the fact that it is particularly aimed at us small and micro business owners. So I'll let Gemma explain. JournoLink, tell us about it.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Yes, as Tony has mentioned, I run a company called JournoLink. JournoLink is a fantastic company that really looks at helping the small businesses get media coverage. We saw a huge gap in the market for small businesses that had fantastic stories. Their businesses started with great tales, and they're really, really interesting to speak to. But ironically, we never saw them being covered in the media. They were never in the newspapers, magazines, radio. And I think the reasons behind that was simply small businesses, when they start up, they don't have the budgets to engage with mainstream PR agencies, and it's a real shame because the stories are great. Also, the businesses don't have the skill set. When you start up, I'm sure the majority of you will know that you're so busy creating your product or running and building your business that you don't actually think, okay, how am I going to get my business out there? How am I going to get my name in the media? So we started up JournoLink as a database that will enable you to be listed and be found by the journalists that want to write about you. We also give you the opportunity to send press releases. The press releases will get sent to the journalists that are in the same industry sector and location as you. So take, for example, a health journalist, obviously is interested in writing about health. I'm using that because it's January and everyone's on their detox.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's essentially what we do. We're a great place for journalists to find their small businesses. We're trying to help those small businesses get their media coverage out there.
And you're a micro business yourself?
We are, yes. So I fully understand the issues that you face and how difficult it can be to get out there and to grow your business.
I think this whole idea of a kind of newsroom where journalists are coming in and your stories build up over time, if you like, and so your personality is like really important. What would you say is the kind of makes a really good press release that gets over the personality of the business owner, that is something that the journalists will be interested in?
I think the key thing is actually the headline. I think as long as you can get a headline that's really catchy, that's really different, that stands out, you're going to get the attention of that journalist. I think all businesses out there have to really think about what makes them different, what makes them stand out from their competitors. You know, what is their story? You know, sit back and take some time out of your business and think, you know, why did I start this? What am I trying to achieve? And if I had to stand up and say, what makes me different? What is it? And apply that to your stories when you're putting them out there. And and just make sure that press release really does, of course, have the facts and all of the information you want to put out there about a press release, but make sure that that headline is the catchy thing, because in reality, that's the thing that's going into the journalist inbox, and that's what needs to be the attention. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. And you offer the service, different services, don't you? So you offer the service of writing the press release for them. Where they so how does that work?
For a small business, it's really great place for you, obviously, to be listed, so you can be found by those journalists that are searching for you. We give you the opportunity to put out press releases. If you do have the confidence to do it yourself, we do have an easy template that you can simply fill out on the site. Alternatively, as you suggested, we do write it for you, so we do provide a professional writing service. We do give the businesses that little bit extra in sense of webinars and tutorials. So we do completely understand that some businesses are great at what they do, but yet the skill set for PR is a little bit of a struggle. And so we do provide these webinars that you can join, and you can ask questions, and you can really get involved. And it's those little questions that you feel a bit silly asking when you're putting your hand up in a big seminar. You can do on the webinar. It's very, very a sociable thing that you can do on there. And also the tutorials that we provide are full of information that will help you get to that next step in your PR and just help you get out there and give you the best opportunity to get some coverage.
Do you think people running their own business need to be, what can I say, get some training to actually get to understand how to talk to journalists and various things? Because I think some people are scared to, in the same way that we've had lots of people who have done some fantastic things. As I mentioned earlier, the Lisbon busker, Rambling Ringo, decided he couldn't come on this hangout because he just didn't feel comfortable doing that, if you like. But he did this fantastic blog, and if he'd been willing to say that, it would have been absolutely awesome. But anyway, everybody can look at the blog. So
there is a huge barrier for businesses because I think it comes back to this skill set again. They're so great at what they do, but just having that confidence to go that one step further. I know myself, if I'm writing an email, and it's an important email, I'll get a colleague to double check it just to make sure I haven't done anything wrong. Now, you think if you're going to send that to a journalist, if you put in the concept of it being a press release, I think, crikey, this might actually go in the media, and it does really worry you. So I know if I'm doing a press release, I get it triple checked, and it's one of those things that businesses do really get scared about. And there's nothing to be scared about because the journalists appreciate that you are a small business, and you might be creating this amazing office space on a bus, or you might be a stuntman that's running through fire. They understand that. And they don't expect you to be the best writer ever, as long as you're getting your story across there, as long as you've got a really catchy headline and you've been noticed. Now, as you said as well, we do offer that professional writing service as well. So, there is training on there that we can provide for you, and there is that helping hand. If you need it, we can help you write your press release.
I think it's fantastic, and as I say right at the beginning, I actually think PR is the major part of your marketing in terms of our business. And of course, social media allows you to not just think in terms of press releases, but just look at Microbiz Matters Day. But one press release can actually be seen by thousands and thousands and thousands of people without even appearing in the newspaper, if you like, because people actually
everything's
get to hear
online
it.
nowadays.
Absolutely, so fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, JournoLink, we do thank you for helping us on Microbiz Matters Day.
No, it's a pleasure. We love it.
We're doing a tweet chat at the moment, which is absolutely great.
So I'll plug that actually. If anyone wants to get involved in it, it's #MicroBizMattersDay, #JournoLink. So anyone that wants to get involved, ask questions, please just use those hashtags, and our team will be happy to speak with you.
Okay. Well, it's been fantastic having you as our guest on Microbiz Matters Day.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great, lovely, thank you. Great. Okay, so Janice is with us as well. Yes, hi Janice. So meet Gemma just before she goes.
Gemma and I are connected on Twitter, so we often retweet one another and stuff. So I follow JournoLink, so I know they do brilliant work, and absolutely agree with everything that Gemma said. PR is so important in business. I've got some great PR through Twitter, through sending out press releases. And so, yeah, your exposure to people and companies that you don't know, that aren't in your circle, it absolutely is so important, as you say, Tony.
Yeah, fantastic, Janice. And we must just say, Janice, whereabouts? Well, I know you're in Egypt, but whereabouts in Egypt? You sound wonderful, you look wonderful, and it's a pleasure having you with us. But whereabouts in Egypt are you?
I'm in Sharm, and it's so bright outside. If I turn the camera around, I'm actually darker because of the lighting here, really. But I'm working on that, though. So now I'm happy. It's a working holiday, though. Let me tell my clients, it's a working holiday.
Well done. Yeah. Well, Janice is. I'm going to bring Mary into the conversation in a minute. But one of the things that Janice has written a fantastic book. We're not going to talk too much about the book today, but one of the things that has been so important in me knowing Janice is that she's gone from one completely different type of business to reinventing herself through marketing into the problem solver, really, and that is what Janice does, and it's absolutely fantastic. She's developed her own model of working mainly with corporates and leaders in organisations. But the point is that it was a restaurant business, wasn't it, before?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Moved from a restaurant business to this absolutely fantastic thing. So one of the leading experts. And that has all been achieved. And the reason Janice joined is because the one thing that moved to both things is her ability to project her personality through whatever business that she's got, whatever she's offering, and it's PR, isn't it? It's marketing and PR and all those things together. So absolutely great. Thank you very much, Gemma.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Enjoy your holiday.
All right, great. Mary's going to join us now, Janice. So while Mary's just settling in, have you met Mary at all before? You may have seen her on Twitter, but
hello, Janice.
Yes, Mary. We haven't actually met in person, but like meeting online is just exactly the same now these days, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, good to meet you.
So Mary does a number of things for the Rockers, and the Rockers wouldn't be here really if it hadn't been for both of you, really, in terms of all the promotion that you do and all the backing you give us. And it's a very exciting day, really, if I'm honest, for Tina and I, because after 3 years of fairly hard graft, we now have a day that we hope will grow year by year by year. And I was saying to Mary earlier, Janice, that we believe that people are beginning to understand that we are just about the power of plenty. We're not membership fees. You don't need to give us contact details. We are genuinely just trying to make life better for micro business owners by us helping each other. And today we're helping each other on the customers, and this marketing hour is all about that. So it's absolutely fantastic all you do for us. Mary has built our Facebook group and looks after the whole Enterprise Rockers Facebook group, but Mary also has a massive network herself called Work Your Way, which is very well known, and is going very well as well. So I'm going to ask Janice a question, and then I'm going to ask Mary the same question, and then we'll have a little conversation after I've done that. So my question, Janice, is if you were actually thinking of helping someone who was really starting off as you did when you reinvented your business, saying, well, look, I've got to turn my skills and abilities, and that's a lot of your network as well, I've got to turn my skills and abilities into a way of earning a living, how do they actually go about looking at how they can, create an offer that people need, and then project that offer to potential customer audiences? Janice, over to you.
Yeah, do you know, most of us have an idea about what we're really passionate about, but we often talk ourselves out of it because we actually haven't found the right model where we can monetize it. So I think the first thing is really kind of looking inside of yourself and looking at what you're good at, what you love to do, what gives you energy, because it's so hard being in business. And if it's something that's going to drain you of energy, if it's going to feel like hard work before you've started, don't do it. Yeah. Life is too short. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to be able to project your personality. People aren't going to be able to love you for you just being you because you're not really passionate about it. So I think that's really the first thing. I've always been the kind of person that makes connections. So if someone's talking to me, I'm already making the connections of the solution, how to solve that, how to help them, you know, putting them in touch with people. Even when I was in business, running it with lots of staff, I also set up a business association. So I personally needed to be connected. So I kind of understood this connection thing, really. You know, so it's either supporting other people, making connections for them, helping them. I've always done that. But when you're in a business, you're often only using one. You're not using necessarily the whole of your most passionate skill, or the skill that you have the greatest preference. As you know, in business you have to wear thousands of hats, don't you, especially if you're a micro business. So what it enabled me
hats, Janice.
I've seen a few of them as well, Tony, haven't they? They're always very characterful and colourful. You know, I was able to kind of take a step back and really kind of refine the thing that I love to do, because I was still doing it in my business, but because of the business took me away from a lot of that, I wasn't able to do it full time. So it wasn't, although I've reinvented, I've actually just refined the things that I loved the most and got rid of the stuff that was pulling me down. And that's the difference, and that's why I could work 24 hours a day. I know it's not healthy, but it's because I love it. It's really, and I need to stop myself from working because I love it. I absolutely love it. And hopefully that comes across as well, so people want to attach themselves to me because they can feel my energy and my passion. And so I think that's why it's really important for people to look at what they're really passionate about. What's the thing that they can do that no one else can do in the way they do it? Then you can find the model that allows you to monetize it. Yeah. But that's the first thing to start with.
Lovely. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah. Can I ask you the same question?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree wholeheartedly with that, Janice. I would say on top of that is to really make good use of networks and communities like us, because the one thing you realize, as you said, Janice, is that you can't be a jack of all trades, and I actually think it's very important that you don't try to be either. We're quite tempted to. We think, well, I'll try and do my own bookkeeping, and I'll try and do my own web design, and I'll try and create my own business cards. While that might well save you money, in the long run it's going to be more expensive in terms of time and effort. You may end up with a job that's not particularly very good. So if you haven't got the budget to outsource, which in many cases we haven't, make good use of communities like Enterprise Rockers. Work Your Way. I always, a big plug, yeah, sure. But I also have a community of fantastic businesses, and they're very good at networking with each other, so that you can barter and help each other in that way. So bartering is very, very good. But I would agree wholeheartedly is to find what you really love doing, and then it doesn't feel like work, and it's not, you know, hard work.
So I mean, the kind of, I mean, what would you say about like formal development? Because I mean, both of you are, provide learning.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you are learning. Yeah. You are. I mean, what do you think about that?
You do need a proper business model. You need to learn how to structure your fees properly, because you know, obviously marketing is, as you said, it's a very important part. If that's not right, you can't get the fees, you can't get your cash flow going. So the right business model, but also I think what we're realizing as microbiz owners, as freelancers, as sole traders, is that we need to have a diverse diverse income streams. So that might be, learning how to do sort of online courses. That might be, if that's relevant to your particular market. But just learning how you can have diverse income streams, not just sort of trying to rely on one thing. Obviously, it depends on the sector that you're in, but that certainly helps. That keeps me going, and I know a lot of the members in Work Your Way, they will have just more than one thing, so there might be a copywriter, and so they're providing the service to their clients, but they're also running marketing courses to other copywriters to help them, master their trade. You've got to do that. You've got to have lots of different income streams.
Great, okay.
Keep you going.
How do you feel about that, Janice?
I would say absolutely. So, and I think as micro businesses, you've got to spread your risk, absolutely. But I would say do one thing, your core business, do it really well. Because I often meet business owners, micro business owners, that tell me about 5 different businesses, and I'm confused, and they're confused as well. And there's only 24 hours in the day. So you've got to build up to that. So start with one thing, do it really well, absolutely nail that, and then you can add something else onto it. And it may be related, it may not be, but you've got to do one thing that's bringing in an income really well, because otherwise you're not actually basing it on solid foundations. You may not be able to make 100% of your income out of it, but actually you're making something. So it may be 20% or 30%. Before you kind of spread your limited time to other things and try and kind of balance too many things. It's so difficult. So you're really clear about the focus of one business, and then you move on to develop the other business. You've got the energies to actually do that. So absolutely, I agree, multiple streams of income is really important to reduce your risk, but focus on one thing, develop it before you move on to another thing. And also the other thing is, when people tell me about their 10 businesses, I think they're a jack of none. You've got to think about who you're talking to, who your audience is, and you actually you have one call to action, one key thing you tell people that you do, and think about what they might be interested in. Is this your customer? Is it a supplier? Is it someone that's connected to a network? Tell them about the one business that's going to get them, not the 10.
Okay, fantastic. I think we have. Is it Louise? I can't actually see all of you. Fantastic. It is Louise. Great. That's brilliant. Well, I'm turning. We meet at last. So that's fantastic. With me here is Mary, and Janice is with us from Egypt, and Janice and Mary, I'm sure, will stay with us a little bit longer. But seeing you've joined us, Louise, we're obviously, this is marketing hour, and you have something really exciting to tell us that you've developed especially for Microbiz Matters Day. We're having a fantastic time. I don't know if you've been watching any of the streaming, but we've been having a pretty good time, and I think there's more tips per 10 minutes than any Google Hangout that's ever been done in the world, really. So I think we're record breakers as well, which is what the power plant is. Could you just tell us what we're talking about at the moment is the fact that you've got to have a passion as well, and you've got to be really, really defined. I think Janice used it, and Mary reinforced it in saying that you've got to be. In order to keep going in our own businesses, you've actually got to be doing something that you're actually really good at doing. Because that gives you the confidence, and then you can project that offer. And then when you have the difficult times as well, you can still keep going because you know that you're developing something that people want and need, and you can do it better than anybody else. Now you had an interesting kind of last 2 years, haven't you, really, Louise, in terms of different things like that? And you've created something very new with your. Do you want to tell us about that and how it works, and just tell us about how you're going about marketing it, and then I'll come back to this special thing that you've done for us. Okay, so just tell us what you're actually, because I think it's quite exciting what you've decided to do and market.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony. Nice to meet everybody.
Right.
Yes, I was 50. I got made redundant in 2008, and I just finished a project. And of course, the recession started, and nobody was recruiting. So, after a year of looking for a job, I decided that I needed to go self-employed. And I've always loved helping people. I've had a corporate career for 30 years. But I love helping people sort of achieve their best, and I used to mentor my own team of 25 people to develop their skills. And so I set up a decluttering and concierge service was the what to do, because I can help people make the time, money and resources. And I'm a member of ACTO UK, and I've got awards for that business for helping people and things, which was fabulous, because then it encourages you when you're self-employed to actually think that you're getting that recognition for what you're doing. And I've met fabulous sort of people. But from helping those declutter, and Naomi's going to join me shortly, from helping those people get decluttered, I've found that regardless of what I was doing for them, had a common theme. They all wanted their life at their fingertips. And I knew as a business I couldn't see enough people face to face in a week to actually make it more than a lifestyle business, really. I couldn't get back to the corporate salary that I used to enjoy. And so I knew this is part of the business plan, I would need a product. And I knew it would come to me at some point. And so this is what it is. It's my life pack, your life at your fingertips. And it actually covers 10 areas of life. But it guides you through in the different factors of getting all your things together so that you're in the different things. So you can actually just turn to this. Helps you review stuff and checklists if you have to move a house, or as sadly I've had to do twice in the last 12 months, deal with probate as family members, and it just saves you an awful lot of hassle. And so it's quite different. I was marketing a service which is all about me, and I found that actually very easy to do because you're just selling yourself.
Yes. And
I found I'm having to learn a whole set of skills. Actually, how do you get a product across to somebody? And so I've trademarked it, so that was an interesting process. Helped design, and in fact actually the person who helped design my logo and actually put this together in the print format is actually sat with me working on the 9 times table today. Wait there! Dave Bradburn from Opus Creative, and that was fabulous. But it's actually going out and learning all those new skills to deliver things, and that's the challenge and keeps you engaged. But yes, I have actually been, unfortunately I've had a serious illness in the last sort of 12 months, but I'm getting over that, and I just happened to pop on and thinking, right, I need to start getting back into my business now. And so I just happened to sort of click on Twitter in November, and actually it was Naomi happened to have come and see me.
Hiya. Why can't we see Naomi?
Join us shortly, and she wanted me to tweet from you, and so I went and looked at the website and I thought, oh God, that's really interesting, and I tweeted you and said, oh, I like the idea of this. Somebody finally is paying attention to all the micro businesses, because it's frustrating that everything seems to start at small business upwards in terms of support, unless you really root round and look for it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. One question I'm going to ask Mary, and then both of you just do feel free to come in on this. In our food and drink hour, it was actually very interesting because all of the food and drink businesses, even though they're not turning a particular skill they've got, because they've got a real lovely yummy product, if you like, they said how important it was to develop a story, you know, a story that people can trust in regarding your kind of personality and various things. And I over the years, because obviously I've been in business, my business partner Claire, for something like 28 years, I found a lot of people make the same mistake that we made in the early years of our business, and we tried to be kind of corporate.
Yes.
You know, we looked similar to all the other businesses that were doing the kind of thing, because we thought that would make us feel confident by us looking like that. But in marketing terms, it was totally the wrong thing to do, really. You know, so how do you think people can put their personality, Mary, into the kind of marketing?
Well, it's about being you. so no one else can be like Tony Robinson with your wonderful hats and
you may have not seen this height of technology, Google Glass.
Way!
So it's about being Tony, about being Janice, about being Mary, you know, and that you're unique because you're you. And it's allowing your personality to shine through. You know, you make a big thing of your hats and your colour and you know, and it's about being able to do that because people, it's a cliche, but people buy from people. And I think it was Seth Godin who wrote a wonderful book called Tribes. Yeah. We all have a tribe that we instinctively gravitate towards, and when you have a tribe, or if you're a tribe leader, you actually don't need to sort of advertise too much because people get you. And I think this goes to what Janice was saying, really understand your audience, really understand who it is you're selling to, and I put selling in inverted commas, who you're selling to, what do they like about my product, what do they need, and what is it that they want. And you know, when the more you define that, the easier your marketing becomes. It actually doesn't have to be a great deal of hard work. I'm not saying you don't put any effort into it, because you're not going to get anywhere by putting your feet up and thinking, oh but it won't be. You won't have to work your socks off because people will get you. I know that my audience, they're like me, they're mums, they're dads, they're juggling their freelancing business around their family. And I know my audience so well. I know what makes them tick. And so you're able to tell your story in a way that they can relate to. So it's about being you, and it's about really understanding your audience, and then you'll just get each other.
Yeah.
And it's fun. If it's not fun, then it just becomes too difficult. It becomes boring.
One thing
corporate.
One thing Janice and I have done is obviously, I mean, I've got a funny book. Janice is mine's a satire, but there's quite a lot of my personality in it. But Janice's is quite remarkable as a book because she kind of like lays bare, if you like, some of the incidents that have formed her whole life. Some of them really tough, very, very tough, but has been willing to open those up, if you like, so that, and it explains this kind of whole approach to what Janice is very, very, very good at. Did that require quite a lot of courage, really, to actually write that book in the way that you wrote it? It had a profound effect on me.
It was, I think, because I was coming out of quite a profound incident, talking about it didn't, I think if I was still in it, it would have been more difficult, but because I started to distance myself from it, I wasn't quite so emotionally attached to it. It's only after I read the book, after I wrote the book, that other people said, oh gosh, that was a bit, you know, there's a lot of personal stuff in there. And it's like, and then I thought, really, was it? Because I'd emotionally removed myself from it. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't attached to it anymore. So there were one or two things, but on the whole, no. But, you know, I completely agree with this thing about personality. And for me, my personality is that I'm quite open. For some people, their personality is that they're more closed, and that's okay, because you will find other people in your tribe that are like that. So open people did not say to me, oh, that was a bit personal, because they're as open as I am. So, you know, naturally people will gravitate to you. So I completely agree with what Mary said. And in my book, I actually have a few exercises to help people find their story, to find the unique things in their life that other people can attach and gravitate to or empathize with. And it's really important to find those kind of milestones in your life that you recognize have helped you to form your character, and it will help other people to attach themselves to those incidents to you. And it will just make you more human as well. So I agree with it totally.
And of course, the great thing as micro businesses is that we're small enough and flexible enough to be able to do that.
Right.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to worry about that corporate stuffiness.
Exactly, Mary, and that's what both you and Tony were talking about. That's the advantage of micro businesses, is that you don't have to go through a board. You know, it isn't by consensus. This is very much you, and this is what, you know, social psychology, like does attract like. Exactly what you said about the tribe and Seth Go. We need to capitalise on that. It gives us a major advantage that larger companies don't have.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that we've got to do is, because I do all this by osmosis, as you can see, it's brilliant. I don't have any headphones, you know. I just sort of like work out these kind of things, and I've only got a few minutes left. But what I really want to do is, in that few minutes, is and we can all comment on it. But could Louise, and maybe if Naomi's there, could you just explain this fantastic thing that you've developed? Purposely for, hey, Naomi. Now, Naomi has been absolutely awesome. We met probably near the early days, I think, didn't we, of Enterprise Rockers, at that youth enterprise.
Quite live, you and Tina.
Yeah.
I'm big fans. I'm your biggest fan, Tony.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm your biggest fan too. I think you're absolutely wonderful, and we just wouldn't be here without you. So, so it's great. Now the only thing is that I've got lots of chocolate here, and you haven't got any chocolate where you are, and I'm going to have some of that chocolate in 5 minutes time. So in 5 minutes, and before Britain's most famous plumber comes to meet us, which is Charlie Mullins of Pimlico Plumbers, which should be absolutely awesome, but not as good as this, Naomi, because it's much better having you there than it'll ever be with Charlie. So could you just explain this thing that you've developed today about 9 times table digital promotion? Thank you.
Okay, well, having seen your tweet and looked at the website, and I saw that it was the 9 minutes of activity, and I saw that it was cash flow customers, which is obviously key to every business, particularly to micro businesses, but I saw the chat bit, and I tweeted back to you and said, oh, I could get some people round the table on the 9th of Jan, and what we could do across social media, prepare all the marketing messages, and then what we do, they're on a sheet, yeah, you look at the actions that person wants, and what you do is you take the sheet of activities that they've actually done, and we've got a list of the things that various people want to do, and basically on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever they are, what we're doing, we're putting them through. So I'm going to do so. We've got the people around the table here. So I take the list, and then in the 9 minutes, I post through my Twitter feeds and Facebook and all the rest of it, their messages. At the same time, somebody is doing my sheet, and it goes on round and round the table, spending that 9 minutes. Of course, you know what the reach of that is. We'll just go beyond all the followers and things we've got. So it just means that those businesses working together here will get a lot more attention. Obviously, my business gets the attention too. But the thing is that we are now a little team of people that actually will then carry on supporting each other in future, because we've made a little like master group.
And then, of course, we have been sharing the love with #MicroBizMattersDay.
Fantastic, and that's what we need to do all day, everybody. And next year, of course, we'll all be together again, and it'll be 5 times as big, because more and more countries will come on board with this. I'm absolutely certain, and it'd be great. Thank you.
What was lovely was that when I put it out on Twitter, I actually got various people. So there's a session happening in Liverpool, somebody's doing it down in Gloucester, some people in London, etc. Despite the short notice with the Christmas break, some people have taken it aboard, and other people have come to me and said they would like to do this again in future, and obviously they would love to get involved in Micro Business Matters Day next year as well. So that's absolutely fab for everybody.
And I think the creativity, and one of the things that we said in an earlier discussion when Tina and I were together, is that obviously the day is about showing the power of plenty and the fact that we can all work together and we can all help each other with customers and various things, but it's also a recognition of the fantastic creativity that there is in our microbiz owner community everywhere. And yours is an example there. We've got people at the moment tweeting out a tip every minute in 9 minutes, 9 tips, and then another 9 minutes, and there's all these things going on, and it just shows how incredibly creative. I don't know, even though I'm in, huge Google, and we've been working with Sage One and been providing facilities. Paul's in the room at the moment. He's just been absolutely. Come and say hello to Naomi and Louise, and there it goes. So there's hello. Hi everyone. All this is only working because of Paul, who really gets it, and absolutely fantastic. But I really don't know that a corporate could work as fast as microbiz owners can do to turn an idea into action.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, actually, Paul and I were emailing each other at 1:30 this morning, and no corporate business would be doing that, would they? But sometimes you just have to do stuff, don't you, and get on with it. But
lovely. Well, can I thank you all very much? First of all, to Janice in Egypt. I hope you enjoy the rest of your working holiday.
Bye, Janice.
Bye, Janice.
We'll connect online.
And Louise, thank you very much indeed. And Naomi, it has been a thrill. It has been an absolute pleasure. I'm so pleased that we meet again. And
will you say happy birthday to Tina for me?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, absolutely. Keep rocking. In fact, I'll be having a few drinks to wish her well as soon as we finish tonight. Right. And you folks can just see what you're missing, because if you'd been a studio guest, you would have got a goodie bag from Scarborough, which has a stick of rock. It has a book by as yet an unknown author.
Great book.
And it has some lovely chocolate pieces from Crofts, which is a new little micro business chocolatier in the Scar.
Wow. There we go. No expense spared.
So that goes to Mary. Thank you very much for being in our studio. And thank you all.
Mary.
Keep rocking, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
That's amazing. Thank you, Tony. That's really